it's Tori here with December Daily Day. What day is it? 17. And I have a 2-page spread for today that I am going to be doing. I went to a movie with my mom. We went to see Wonder, which was beautiful. And we also went and visited my grandma at the care facility that she is at. And while these photos don't necessarily appear like they go together, I'm going to make them go together. And I felt like sometimes, if you've seen the movie Wonder, you know it's about a little boy who has a face deformity. I don't know if that's the nicest way to say it, but he's got something that has happened to his face since he was born. But it's such a beautiful, beautiful story of triumph and just love, and it's just so beautiful. And I felt like watching my grandmother, who has Alzheimer's, playing the piano and singing Christmas hymns, even though she doesn't remember anything, she couldn't even remember who we were that day, is still a story of beauty, if that makes sense. So I kind of wanted to put them together and journal about them together, if that makes any sense. So I don't have a plan other than I printed off a large photo that I found on the internet of the movie poster and a photo of my grandma, and I'm somehow going to make this happen. So I brought you guys along for the ride, I guess, and we are going to document December 17th together. So here we go.
One thing I wanted to say just from the beginning is that movie poster does not actually look like that. It actually had a lot of black in it, but my printer was doing funky things, so it printed out blue, and I didn't want to reprint it, so I just left it, and I kind of end up liking the way that it looks with the spread, but it felt really blue to me, too blue, so I decided to cover it up with some vellum, because it's not super important that you can see it perfectly. It's more the thought behind it, I guess, if that makes sense. So I ended up using this frosted vellum. I was trying to think of the word. This frosted vellum that had these gold triangles on it. And I just really liked the way that it looked on top of the Wonder. So I cut it down so that it would be the right size. And then I remembered that on the back of this spread, I didn't have anything, so I was trying to decide what to put on the back, and I ended up deciding to use this really pretty mandala paper that I designed. I mean, I'm totally biased, but it is super pretty, if I do say so myself. I designed this paper for Wild Whispers Home for the Holiday collection, and it's my favorite paper ever. Not just because I designed it, I just love the pink and the mandala design. It's just so pretty. So I decided that would go on the back of this spread and just be a pretty paper inside my December Daily, if that makes sense. And then I realized that the photo was too small, considering the page protectors are not 6x8, they're too big. I mean, they're 6 inches wide, but they're 8.5 inches tall or something. I don't know. Whoever designed them frustrates me, but that's a whole other story. So I cut that out, then I added some white paper to the back of that, and then I'm going to adhere the Wonder poster on top, leaving a little bit of white at the top and at the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just throw that vellum in there too to kind of tone down the blue that's going on so that it's a little more subtle. And now I'm going to work on the other side of the spread, which has the photo of my grandmother. So like I mentioned, on the 17th, my mom and I, we went to visit my grandmother at the home where she lives, and we just spent some time with her. It was a Saturday, and honestly, it's kind of hard to have conversations with her these days because she doesn't really know who we are and she asks the same question over and over and just kind of seems confused. So instead, what we do is we take her to the piano and she sits down and she is so happy. Like, honestly, I've never seen anyone happier than when she sits at the piano, because even though she doesn't remember who she is, who we are, where she is, what day it is, what month it is, she doesn't remember any of that. But she can sit down at the piano and play any hymn, any song from memory. She doesn't need the words. She doesn't need the music. I mean, there's music in front of her, but it was for a totally different song. And you would just say, Grandma, play Joy to the World, or play Amazing Grace, and she would play it and belt it out, and it's amazing. It's wonderful. It's just incredible. So that's what I wanted to journal about today. I have this photo of her that I'm going to put down there, and then I had this card that said Joy to the World, which I felt was pretty appropriate considering she was singing Joy to the World at the top of her lungs throughout the retirement home. And then I added the number 17 there, as well as an acrylic music note that I had in my stash. Not sure where that came from, but it was the same color blue, which is actually kind of fun because then the layout turned out to be blue anyways, considering the Wonder poster was also blue. So I thought about adding my journaling on a tag and the card. And one of the things that I wanted to do was there was this quote that was said in the movie that I thought was just really appropriate and really sweet. So I'm going to add that there. And then the movie cuts off, so I'll come back in a second.
So I realized while I was going all of a sudden that the camera stopped, which is every YouTuber's nightmare. But anyways, I thought I'd just pop back on and finish the project with you. I did add a quote from the movie Wonder here on this tag, and I added some journaling on this Joy to the World card. And then I just want to add a couple more detail embellishments, I think, just to finish off this layout. So I'll put you guys back on fast forward for that. So hopefully you didn't miss that much. I don't really know. But I'm just going to finish this up. I was looking over and I saw these Feed Your Craft puffy stickers that are triangles, and I thought they might coordinate nicely with this. And I want to add some fibers or something at the top of here. So let's do that.
So I went to my stash to find some ribbon that I thought would match, and I had this like really pretty mintish colored one, and I thought it would coordinate really well, so I ended up using that and just tying it. And I love the way that that looks on there. One thing I just wanted to read the quote to you. It just says, I think there should be a rule that everyone in the world should get a standing ovation at least once in their lives. And I just love that quote. It just felt like, yeah, I wish my grandma could get a standing ovation now. Like, honestly, she's amazing. So then I'm going to also add those Feed Your Crafts stickers, and I just added some of the triangles there on that card, and then I'm actually going to add a couple to the photo of my grandma too. I just thought that it would be a nice detail and would kind of tie the things together between the two spreads. And then I also have my journaling there, and it just says that it amazes me that even when my grandma can't remember a thing, that even when she doesn't know who we are, who she is, or where she is, that she can still sit down at the piano and play any song and sing any hymn. Today I stood amazed as she belted out Joy to the World. And that's it. That's my spread for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and then you'll check back soon for another video. Bye!